Yo. Welcome to the training. This is the futures training for anybody that wants to transition over, that is taking this course and wants to transition over from Forex to trading futures, or want to add futures to their repertoire, something under their belt to be able to trade, right? So for all you guys that are in this course, I started off trading Forex. I also dabble in trading synthetic indices, and I have made the transition over to trading futures. I still trade Forex, but my main focus is futures. And the reason why I moved over to futures is because it's volatile, but you're not fighting the market makers and a bunch of different retail traders. With Forex, you're fighting the retail traders. With futures, you're only fighting basically the market makers, which makes it a little bit easier to trade, and it moves smoother. It moves more smooth. There's a lot of reasons why I traded, but overall, futures is something that's actually making me a lot of money, and I want to bring this to you guys and show you guys how I'm putting money, getting money, pulling money out of the market, and staying consistent in profit. So this is my trading strategy for futures. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna load up the chart with the different indicators that I use. All the custom indicators that I use will be under this training video. So if you have not downloaded the support and resistance indicator, or the trend point indicator, or the solar wind indicator from the previous course, or the previous Forex content, or previous Forex training, I suggest to go do that. Or you can download it you can download that information or those indicators with the downloads that are below this video. So with that said, let's get into it. So enough rambling, let's get into it. So what I'm doing is I load up two moving averages. My first moving average is 21 smooth close, any color that I want it to be. I like my moving averages to be thick. So we got a thick 21. Then we load up our second moving average, which is 50. Same thing, smooth, close, thick line, and we'll change this to magenta. All right. Then we're going to load up. We're going to load up. Excuse me. We're going to load up our support and resistance levels. And we're going to leave everything exactly the way it is, right? So, excuse me. What we're going to do, so if you see this here, everything that the way it's set up right now is how you're going to leave it set up. You hit OK. And then we're going to load up our Sage Jones BC trend point. With the Sage Jones BC trend point, we have to make an adjustment. Right here is the speed of the signals that you're going to get. So right here, you're going to double click here and you're going to type in 27. Then you're going to jump over here and make sure that you only have it checked on the 15 and the hour time frame, right? Because we're entering our trades based off what's happening on the hour from the 15. So make sure the only time frames that we have checked are the 15 and the hour time frame. All right, close that. What I like to do is to make sure I don't make or try to make irrational choice and try to jump down to other time frames. I like to isolate the 2 time frames that I'm finding my entries on. So I'll go to the time frame area here, hit customize, and you'll see right here where you see how all the time frames are here. What I'll do is I just remove everything up to the hour and the 15. So I'll go in. And now I got my hour time frame and my 15-minute time frame right here. Those are the 2 that I'm isolating my trades on. Now, the last indicator we're going to enter here or install is the solar wind. And there we got our 15-minute, our hour, we have our BC trend point, we have our solar wind, we have our support and resistance indicator, and we have 2 moving averages. Now, I know it sounds like a lot of indicators, but as you can see, the chart is not bulked down with a multitude of indicators. You only are using these particular indicators because they help you analyze the direction of the market and things like that, right? So what I do is with my BC trend point, with my solar wind, I make sure that I go here and I choose the levels and I'll hit add. And when you hit add here, it's going to put a levels area here, and that levels area is going to be 0.0. Just leave it at that and then hit OK. Now, as you can see, we have a 0 point line here, and so if the solar wind joy is above the 0 point, we go into buys. If it's below the 0 point, we go into sells. It's kind of like using the stochastic oscillator. Now, this is how I find my trades. What I do is we have the 50 and the 20, the 50 and the 21, and we have a support here. We have a support. The support hit here. As the support hit, we were still below the 0 line here on the solar wind. So what we have to do is we have to wait until the solar wind breaks above the 0 point and starts painting us a green buyer's signal. This is what you want. You want it to cross above. Now, the reason why you have the BC trend point is the BC trend point informs you when the three confirmations has happened, right? So you have a support here with the support and resistance. You have a cross over the 0 point on the solar wind into the uptrend. And then we have a BC trend point signal letting us know that everything is crossing over into the uptrend. Now, that's not the only confirmation you need. You also need for the 50 and the 21 to be crossing each other. You don't want to enter down here. Now, I know most people will say, oh, you're free to enter here. You could enter here. You could enter here at this point when the BC trend point hits, right? But to be safe, you want to make sure that the 50 and the 21 have crossed above each other. So you have, this is our 50 here. This is our 50 moving average. This is our 21. The 21 has to cross above the 50 moving period average to let you know and give you concrete accuracy, letting you know that the market's in the uptrend. Once that's happened, now you know that all you're going to be doing is taking buys. And you're going to take all your buys from the 15-minute time frame. Now, when I get a confirmation that all these things are happening, I got my solar wind is above the zero line, the 0 point. I got a support here. I got my BC trend point arrow that hit. The moving averages have crossed each other. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down to the 15-minute time frame. And on the 15-minute time frame, I want the exact same things to be happening, right? So on my 15-minute time frame, I want the support to be hitting. I want the BC trend point arrow to pop up. And I want the solar wind to be above the 0 point. So I want the solar wind to be painting my entry as a green entry right here. It can't be down here, like what I said here, right? So it's like I was saying here, if you got the support here at this point, as you can tell, the solar wind is still below the 0 point. We're still riding below the 0 point. What we want is this. We want the support to be hitting, the solar wind to be crossing above, the BC trend point giving us confirmation, and then we want a crossover on the moving averages. Now that has happened, what we're going to do is we wait, and once that crossover happens, we wait either to a pullback arrow hits or we get a new buy arrow and we buy. And you catch all these ticks, all these candles right here. You catch all these candles. So if you would have entered here, you could have rolled it from this point all the way up and caught this. But the wise thing is to wait until all three confirmations happen. So you're going to wait until, once again, the BC trend point arrow hits, the support and resistance arrow hits, letting you know that it's support. You're going to wait until the solar wind joy is above itself here. And you're going to wait until there's a crossover on the 50 and the 21. Those confirmations must happen. If you see two of those confirmations happen, but one of the last one has not come, wait until all three confirmations have happened. I cannot stress that to you enough. It's very important to wait till the confirmations happen. Once those confirmations have happened, then you can get into a trade here. 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 So this is one day. This is another entry in the same day. This is one day. This is an entry in one day. And this is an entry in one day. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 trades that you could have taken in this 3-day period of time that would have gotten you into profit. Now, the thing is you want to choose a specific specific profit target for yourself. What I do is I take one trade a day. So for me, I'll take one trade. I'll find, so say I get an entry, say I go to my hour time frame, right? I go to my hour time frame. I clarify that the market's going up. I got arrows on my BC trend point arrows here, letting me know that the market's up, right? So going up, and you want to enter trades when all the arrows, when everything's doing the exact same thing. So I got an arrow. Say I got an arrow here. We're still above the 21 is still above the 50. So I'm going to put a vertical line here. Let me delete this. Let me delete this vertical line. And I'll put a vertical line right here, right? We're still in the uptrend. As you can tell, we're still in the uptrend. What you see right here, I got my BC trend point arrow. We got our solar wind. The moving averages are doing what they're supposed to do. The 21 is still above the 50. There was a buy arrow here. I dropped down to my 15. And let's find. So here's our vertical line, right? So when the BC trend point arrow hit, it hit in this area. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, I got my confirmations here. I got my confirmations here. I got my support. I got my solar wind cross above. I got my BC trend point. I got my moving averages above each other. I would take an entry here at this point and ride the arrow all the way up here. Once I get to $200, $300 in profit, or maybe $400, I'm out. I'm out of the market. I'm not worried about it. I'm only taking one trade a day. One trade a day. Now if you're going to take more than one trade, then you would wait until you would take an entry here at this point, get in, close your trade. You got an adverse arrow that hit here. You get out, you wait until the pullback happens. Pullback happens back into the 50 and the 21. Boom, you got a new arrow. You ride it up, catch a few candles, get out. Well, the reason why I say I only take one trade a day is because with the futures market, all you need is one trade. All you need is one trade. You don't need to be in it. You don't need to be in and out of the market all day. You're going to find your resistance or your support. You're going to find your resistance or your support, find your direction on your hour time frame, find your resistance or your support, and enter. My support happened here. My support happened here. My BC trend point hit here. My solar wind crossed here. My moving average is crossed here. I ride the market all the way up to this point, or I ride it to this, or I can ride it to this point and get 91 bars. It's all up to you. Or you could wait until you get an adverse arrow, as you see right here. This is all the confirmations happened here. I got an adverse arrow hit here. But then I got another buy arrow that hit here, and you can ride it up to this point and get 18 bars, or you can ride up to this point and get 37 bars, or you could have rode it here until you got an adverse arrow and got 55 bars. But the main thing is following the trend direction. Do not go against the trend. If you are going against the trend, you will blow your account. It's going to happen. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but I trade counter trends with Forex, you do not want to trade counter trends with futures. It does not work. It will not work. You want to follow the trend. So I'm going to show you a bunch of entries. Let's go back and find some. Let's find some buys and let's find some sells. Okay. So, excuse me. We're gonna jump up to the hour, right? So let's jump down here and let's find some sells, right? So this is our confirmation, right? So we're gonna do we're gonna find sells here, right? So what we have here is our support and resistance indicator giving us a resistance right on the hour, or a resistance on the hour. So there's a resistance here, right? Then we got another confirmation with our trend point indicator, our BC trend point. Then we got another confirmation here showing you that the market is crossing below and going below the zero area here on our solar wind. A crossover has happened here. So what we're going to do is now that we got all our confirmations letting you know that the market is in a downtrend, the moving average has crossed each other, the support and resistance indicator has created us a resistance. We got a entry arrow on the BC trend point. We also got an entry signal from the solar wind letting us know that the market's in a downtrend. What we're going to do is we're going to drop down to the 15. We're going to find that vertical line. Find that vertical line on the 15 moving at 15-minute time frame. Let's find that vertical line. Here's our vertical line on our 15-minute time frame. All right, here's our vertical line on our 15-minute time frame. Right here. This is where our vertical line hit on our 15-minute time frame. So once again, the hour time frame gave us all our confirmations. Now, as you look here on the 15, you got a resistance also. You got a BC trend point arrow. You got a solar wind letting you know that the market's going down. But as I said, you have to wait for all three confirmations. There was no crossover here on the moving averages, right? There was no crossover. The crossover happened here. This is where the crossover happened. So you have to practice patience. Anything that you do will require patience. You will have to be patient and wait for your entries. I can't stress this enough. Just because you got two confirmations, you're like, oh, I got two confirmations. I know it looks like the market is going down. If you would have entered here where the BC trend point, let's say you just entered here after you got the BC trend point arrow. You're like, I got the BC trend point arrow. I'm good. I got the solar wind. We good. And then you enter a trade and it does this on you and pulls you back out of profit, right? You entered here. You got into a chop. You got choppy. And then boom, the solar wind bust back through the 0 point. You're like, oh crap, what did I do wrong? It's because you did not wait for all three confirmations. So once again, as we look here, our three confirmations are resistance indicator pops up, trend point indicator happens, crossover happens with the moving averages, solar wind joy is below And you could have entered here and rolled all the way down and caught all of these, all of this, all of this. You could have caught all of this move. Then the next day, you look up, boom. You wait until you get your, now the BC trend point, I'm sorry, the solar wind. The solar wind has broken back above, did a pullback, and then you got a new entry on the BC trend point right here. You ride the market down. You could collect all these pips, all these, sorry, not pips, all those ticks. Then the next day, same thing. Arrow happens. Wait for that pullback to happen. There was an arrow here that gave you a buy. Next thing you know, you got to sell. The solar wind is still below the 0 point. There's no, you still don't have you're still on resistance. As you can tell, you're still on resistance. There's no support. You're still on resistance. You caught all of this. Caught all of this. So now you've gotten in 3 trades. 3 trades in 3 days. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. You got 3 days worth of trades in. 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades. You got 3 trades. So say you were doing $500. You were trying to get in and make $500 a day. This is $1,500. You made $1,500 in 3 days. $1,500 in 3 days. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5, 1,500. Then the market creates a support. Boom, you got a support here. Like, okay, the market could be changing directions, right? You're like, okay, a 15-minute gave me a support. The market could be changing directions, right? The market could be changing directions here, right? Because you got a support here, you got a trend point, you got a BC, you got the solar wind crossing, and you got it crossed above, right? But you're like, oh, the market's going up. No. Always make sure that you're following the trend direction on the hour time frame. So don't be faked out here. Do not be faked out here, because like I said, we're always following the trend direction on the hour time frame. So what we do is, when we see this resistance, this support happen, we take a vertical line, put it here, right? We put it here. Let's put the vertical lines here, isolating this support, right? And then we're going to jump down to the hour. And what do you see here? What do you see? The market isn't changing direction. It's still going down. It's still going down. So, but if you would have just entered solely off of this support happening, sure, you could have caught a trade here, but we're following the trend, right? So the market is still going down. We're still going down. This is 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days. And then we got a support here 9 days into your trading. The market has been going down for 9 days. 9 days. All these separations here are the days. These are all the days. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, boom, the market changed direction. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, breaking time. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days. You see what I'm saying? See how long it goes? It's going for a long period of time. And I bet you're like, Sage, how do you know this is the days, right? Because if you look here, these are the days. If you look here, this is the 16th. This is when the market started going down. The 17th, the 18th, the 19th, the 20th. See how many days it went down? It went down all these days until it changed direction. So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by this because we're following the trend. So since we're following the trend, this is a pullback. So this is a pullback. This right here is a pullback. Once your pullback happens, this pullback happened for 2 days, right? This pullback happened. So that means you're not gonna, well, it happened midday here and then into the 24th. And then when this day right here was the 25th, this is when we got back into our downtrend, right? So let's delete the vertical lines. We'll put them here. We jump back up to the hour. And this is where it started to do its thing again. Now, as you notice, right? This is why it's important to follow the arrows on the hour time frame here too, because look, we got our sell arrow here. The sell arrow kept going down for these many days on the hour time frame, and then there was a pullback arrow here. So you got an hour pullback arrow. That hour pullback arrow went here. Then we got another sell arrow here, and the market went down. So this is why I say you have to watch your confirmations. Keep your confirmations in mind. Always keep your confirmations in mind, because even though the market here was doing this, it did this. This is where our pullback arrow happened on the hour time frame. So let me put it here, right? So put this line here. This is where our pullback arrow started, right? Right here. So our pullback arrow started right here on the hour time frame, and it pulled back all the way to this point. Then we got our resistance. We got our resistance here, and then we got our sell arrow again on our hour time frame, and that sell arrow took us from this point to this point. You see what I'm saying? On the hour time, so it's always smart to follow the trend direction from the hour time frame, because you could have entered here when the arrows hit, and you could have got down here and hit. There was some consolidation here. Then you could have went in and caught a move here and went down, or you could have caught a move here and went down until there was a support that happened on the hour time frame. And as you can tell, as you look here, you see this one. Do you see this vertical line here? This vertical line right here is where the crossover happened on our 15-minute time frame, or where our support and stuff happened on our 15-minute time frame. So, on our 15-minute time frame. So if you look here on the hour, Look here on the hour time frame where at this point, everything happened again. You got our support, you got our BC trend point, we got our crossing moving averages, and we just move forward. The main thing with this strategy is just following the trend overall. If you go against the trend, you will fail. You will fail. So let's jump back a little bit further, right? We have, you see what I'm saying? It repeats itself. It consistently repeats itself. Consistently repeats itself. You have our support. We have our BC trend point. We got our solar wind crossing above. We got our crossover that happened here. What do you do? What do? You drop down to the 15. You would drop down to the 15 period time frame and look for all buys. All buys. But you have to make sure that these moving averages have crossed each other. So let me show you how many crosses that you're going to get based off of the hour, right? So you got to cross here. Now look how long this moved up. This moved up for days on end. Days on end. The market was in the uptrend for days on end. That's another thing with futures, right? The futures market will move in the same direction for days on end. Days on end. With Forex, the market could change direction tomorrow and you look up, okay, the hour time frame is going the other direction today. This thing goes on and on for days. Look how many days this went. This is the 27th. This is October 27th, right? This is where everything happened, right? This is where we would have started finding our trades on the 30th, on the 31st, October 31st. We are in November. This is November 24th right here. November 24th. Do you see where this is? This thing has been going in the uptrend on the hour time frame since October 27th. Let's go back here. October 16th is when it started moving down. This thing went down until, so this started October 17th. It went down for 10 days. It went down until the 27th. October 6th. Then went October 6th to October 16th. Excuse me. October 2nd to October 6th. You see how long this thing rides? August 24th to August 30th to August 31st, August to September 1st. See how long this goes? This is why it's good to follow the trend direction on the hour time frame consistently. Now, with that said, I hope this training has showed you what you need to do. This works with NAS, so the NQ NAS, it works with ES, which is US is sorry, it works with NAS 100, it works with the Dow Jones, and it works with the S&P 500. This strategy works with all futures. If you want to trade oil, you can trade oil. If you want to trade any other gold, silver, you can trade. This strategy will work with futures, period. Now, let's look at, so we were just looking at the Dow Jones, right? Let's look at the hour time frame on S&P 500. You see what I'm saying? Same thing. Same thing. Support, trend point, solar wind is above, crossover happened, market went up for days. Let's look at NAS. The NAS 100. Support, trend point, crossover, went up for days. Days on end, it's still going up. Now we're getting a little on NAS right now. We're getting a pullback. Looks like we're getting some directional change, right? So what do? We wait until either this crosses over or we get another support. So it works for all of these futures. Now, when you're trading futures, I just want to make it clear into this part. When you're trading futures, you're not trading currencies, you're trading contracts. So you're basically trading the value of a contract, saying that it's going to go to this point, and then you're selling it to get your money back. Or you're selling a contract, and when it gets to a certain point, you're buying it back. So with Forex, you're trading currencies versus currency. You're trading the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. So you're basically betting which one is going to be higher than the other one by a certain period of time. With this, you're buying one contract, or you're buying a contract. So you're trading, say you have a contract, you own this contract. You're selling this contract to the market. Boom, it's sold. Okay, I'm making this much money from what I sold from this contract. Now I want to buy the contract back. You buy the contract back. What you made off of what you sold for that contract is your profit. What you made off of buying that contract is your profit. So when you look at these numbers here, or when you look at these numbers, this is what you sold your contract for. This is what you bought it for. So, and contracts move completely different, but I'm going to explain that in the next video, explaining what the difference between Forex is and the difference between futures. So you'll see that in the next video. For everybody that's watching this video, please remember to go down below this video and download the support and resistance indicator, the solar wind, the BC trend point, the BC trend point, and remember that your moving averages are 21 smooth and 50 smooth. Only follow the trend from the hour time frame. All right, guys. Until next time, watch the next video below this one. That video will explain how futures contracts work. And then from there, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will be recording a separate area explaining how Top Step works. Also, there's going to be a video below the me explaining what the contract, how the contracts work, explaining what broker I use, or what broker this is, where you're able to use MT5 and be able to find your entries and put your money into to trade futures, because there's only one broker that offers futures on MT5, and they are based out of Chicago. But I will go and cover that in the video right after me explaining how contracts work and Forex versus futures. All right, guys, see you over there.